to Talking with Turo.
Welcome everybody to Talking with Turo. On today's episode, I have Mikey Vibe, Michael Carrillo from multiple bands, multiple projects. He has established himself here in the city for a very, very long time. Mr. Michael Carrillo. I've been trying to get him here for a long time, for like years, I think. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Dude.
We're doing it. We're finally doing it.
Yes, dude. Cheers to that, man. Let's fucking cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Like we had a good, pretty chill session before this, man. So I'm excited to have you on. So one thing that I've always been curious about, man, is how did you start like planning your roots into the music scene in the beginning before Michael J and the Foxes, Dear Vibes, and all those bands you were part of?
I was in some.
Go on.
Okay, so yeah, I was in just like a. I don't know what you call it.
What do you mean?
Post-hardcore band.
For real?
Yeah,
What was it called? I didn't even know that. Dude.
yeah. Comeback Haley was what the name was.
Oh shit. Okay. All right.
Well, we wanted to be like. We didn't know what we wanted to be like. It was not. I was young. We were in high school, but that's when I first met. People downtown at the Rabbit, Cafe Revolution when it was still a thing. I don't know if that band played at the Sanctuary, but just back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I also had the. I had a sound system that I don't know where the hell I got that sound system from. But that opened up doors. Having a sound system for me opened up doors because then I started running sound for places for Chris Blakey shows.
You mean you had a PA system?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because when you said system, I was thinking like you're bumping
my
shit in
car.
your trunk.
Yeah,
Dude. Okay, so you had a PA system, and then where did?
Yeah, actually. Okay, so after that band, I've been in a handful of bands before, obviously. Okay. So I was in another band after that also. I mean, I think at some point I just kind of realized I didn't want to be in like a screamo style, like
cookie cutter kind of thing, I guess.
Well, I mean,
because it was popular at the time,
Yeah, but it was like it was popular at the time, but still like something different from what anything else was. It was still new. It was still new,
right?
At the beginning stages of what was cool, and so then I was in like a different band and with my friends Tommy and Chris, and we were like again just kind of trying to figure out our sound. Chris was like this funky bass player. Tommy was like this like super good drummer that was showed me a ton of good music. And I wanted to be a good guitar player. I just didn't know how yet. Okay. And that kind of worked because I didn't limit myself to like what I knew. I just tried to figure out how do these people make these sounds,
right? Right.
And we threw a lot of like house shows and I wouldn't say house shows. We like rented out like pool houses in like
really?
This, in the suburbs and stuff. And us and we were like super mixed genre shows back then because there was like Sky Torn Red, Sworn to Secrecy.
Are you talking about local bands? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was just a bunch of different bands that we all played together in like the Kirby Converse area.
What year was this? Like what?
I was probably still in high school, so 2006.
Like 2006. Yeah. Okay, I thought so.
Yeah. And so just learning how to like set up shows and because it was a combination. I had already played at the Rabbit, but then I was trying to do something different. I mean, and I say that as in like played at the Rabbit as far as like been on those 20 bill band shows.
Oh my god,
20 band bill shows and 10-minute changeovers.
Yeah.
Or and 10-minute sets or something like that. You know what I mean? So and that was cool. I mean, it was quite the learning experience and stuff that I still remember today. But from that point too, it was always just about like where to go next. And so throwing those like house shows, park shows, we threw like a really cool show in Kirby Park for a couple of times.
Nice.
And then from there, I opened the lab, which was like a DIY space.
Dude, I remember hearing about that, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Where did you open it? Like what? Like what do you mean? Like
it was like it was like the back of a Dollar General strip mall.
oh, shit,
so like
dude.
you could walk behind this Dollar General, and it was like a Dollar General, a church, a taco place, and then like a couple of other like little retail stores. And if you walked around the back, there was a warehouse door and a little door, and it was like at least 1,000 square feet of warehouse space.
Yeah.
So we installed bathrooms and built a
What?
stage, and that was me, Tommy, and Chris still like and like I was young, so of course my family was supportive and helped. But I mean, it was cool. I remember us when we made the stage, we were like, this is just a little smaller than the White Rabbit stage.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, obviously, and I mean, when I say I had a PA system, I mean I had like 2 decent speakers and an old school like analog
Like mixer?
soundboard, mixer, and just like and we put up lights, and I mean it was a really cool thing, a really cool time.
That's
a lot
dope,
of
bro.
my older friends or people from that time frame know what a kind of like little cool thing it was for what it was at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And that lasted for about a year. I was 17. I was only in high school like half of the time.
You went to Judson, right?
Yeah.
I did too. I graduated in 2010. When did you graduate?
07. Yeah.
07? Okay.
So from that point, I kind of realized it was kind of interesting because I was like, all of my, I guess what we had come across is there was certain things with like city permits and stuff that we had to like figure out. Nothing that like we couldn't do, but it was like one of those things. Do I dive in further or do I stay where we were? And it wasn't about. I mean, obviously we were charging covers and paying bands out, like doing the whole thing. You know, like learning about that system that other places have now.
Right.
You know, at that age, and I was still like. Hadn't graduated yet.
So you're like 16 or 17 at this time.
Yeah. And so we needed like $1,000, and back then I was like, "That's so much money," And it was $1,000 to like get some stuff installed that we needed, or close down. And I was like, I haven't had like a weekend to myself and me and my girlfriend or me and my friends just not doing whatever, because even then it was catering to the shows and the events, whether I was performing or not. There was tons of shows, tons of people. So that was cool. And I just didn't really think of it at that time as a job or a business. It was something that we were just doing because we loved doing it. But after a year of doing it and I'm like trying to graduate and stuff, I was like, all right, well, $1,000 is too much money. We'll close down. I mean, there was even like a country bar across the road in Kirby, the Roadhouse Saloon, and we started throwing shows there. And that was when, and so like Lonely Horse, Samson and the Sea was his band, Nick's band.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I think Matt was in that band. Hydra Melody.
Yeah.
The band that I was. Then from that point, I was also in no. So then I met some of the guys in a band called Through Her Vibe, and I think I had kind of already known who they were a little bit, but not. That was like the beginning of my introductions to like knowing them. So it kind of like just took a long. I mean, it was just like a long journey of learning about music, learning about how it worked, doing this little DIY venue space. I don't know if it happened before or after doing it at the Roadhouse Saloon, where I think a lot of cool shows happened there. Of course, now I can't remember any of the cool bands that played there, but there were definitely.
I mean, it was kind of a long
Deer in the
time ago.
Headlights. Deer in the Headlights. By the end of tonight.
Oh, what's that one band, dude? It's but the physical man will carry on. Broken Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
dude,
Broken
like...
Buffalo. So I never considered learning about that sort of thing a business, you know. Um, After that closed, I think at one point the Roadhouse just kind of became like somebody else started hosting more shows there, and it wasn't my spot, so I kind of like wasn't interested in it. Um, I started running sound down at Rock Bottom on the patio for their patio stage, and I met Angel. I was working with Chris Blakey still because I had worked for him for like a whole summer of just running sound at Cafe Revolution after
Revolution.
after a certain time. And you know, it's funny because like there's a lot of different angles to that. Again, I was just doing it because I loved it. I was barely getting paid anything, if at all. And when the shows went bad, you know, he would be like, I'll make it up to you, you know. And I think so. There was still, you know, we were still playing other shows at the Rabbit. I think whenever a couple times at the Sanctuary, places downtown, I guess, still, you know, still getting to know the other people who were involved in the music scene at the time. And so when I worked at Rock Bottom on the patio for a while after Cafe Revolution has closed again, I think, or whatever, Chris Blakey walked me down the street and he was like, "Do you know the guys in Red Reverse?" And like, I don't know if Prevail Within was, I guess maybe it was Prevail Within already. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
And I think he introduced me to them at some point, but he said that they were going to open a bar, and it was 2008.
2008. Okay.
And I think it was April. He told me they're going to open the bar, and I want you to run sound here. I want to introduce you to them and run sound.
Chris Blakey said that to you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And so that was kind of
Chris Blakey.
That was kind of his way of paying me back for working
I see.
all of that time. And again, I never considered it like a debt. I was a kid who just like loved running sound.
You love music, yeah.
Yeah,
I love being there, dude.
Yeah. And that's the Warhol. That's when the Warhol opened in 2008. And Brandon, Jordan, and Colin were my bosses, and Jordan and Brandon were in Red Reverse and Prevail Within. Colin was just like this really cool guy who knew a shitload of music.
Wait, so hold on. So those four guys own the Warhol?
The three guys, Brandon, Jordan,
the three
and Colin.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was like my introductions to them and to running sound. I mean, I don't know if it was still that same sound system, I think, at one point that I had from the lab, you know, that which is at this point 2 years later or so of having used the hell out of it. And I mean, we all just, I guess they liked me because I worked there for 8 years.
Well, yeah,
you know,
yeah, man. Something about you, you know what I'm saying?
Something about me. No, something about them too. You know, it's good guys. Like, you know, very smart. All of them very smart, very intelligent, and it was an honor working with them from the Warhol. The next year, it turned into the 1011. You know, and it was just a super cool time. I was 18 by that point. And you know, not old enough to drink inside the bar, and but
old enough to drink inside the bar. Wink, wink.
No.
Sorry, outside the bar. My bad.
Yeah. So, you know, I met so many people at that time. I think I eventually moved in with my girlfriend at the time, Julie, off of Evergreen, and I was in a band with the guys that I had met, you know, the year before, and that was through Her Vibe, and that's the band that I based off. People, that's why people started calling me Mikey Vibe, and then I started Dear Vibes after that as another association.
They called you Mikey Vibe because
of the band that I was in through Her Vibe.
Oh,
and I think. Or maybe then I started Dear Vibes and people call me Mikey Vibe. I don't know. One way or the other.
One way or the other.
Yeah. But one way or the other. And I mean, I kind of take pride in the idea that I've always just worked from and kept in touch with where I'm coming from, you know, and like all of these things just fell naturally into how it worked out. And my name and my work and the bands, you know. and that was really cool. You know, I mean, technically all of that crazy shows, the Grasshopper Lies Heavy shows, Japanther shows, just crazy punk shows, crazy heavy shows, crazy good. L1011 played at the 1011.
They did, for real?
Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Mike Herrera from MXPX played at
no way
at the 1011. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, I'm 100% positive, but I'm just like wondering when what the 1011 shows versus like the shows that came up with Ventura too. So I'm trying to not get those confused to keep the honor of the memories.
Yeah.
But yeah, so because I mean I was 18 and then I worked for them till I was 26 or whatever. I think they closed at the end of 2015 or 2016. That transition was to get into opening Ventura and all of that.
So
yeah, I know I'm taking up all this.
It's okay. No, dude, it's cool. Like I appreciate you like saying all this. I really do. But what I'm curious about is like around the time that it was the Warhol, like what kind of crowd of people were going, what kind of bands were playing. Was it like a lot of metalcore? Because I know like around that time I was listening to a lot of metalcore, Parkway Drive, The Ghost Inside, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I mean it was definitely a lot of punk, a lot of metal, a lot of heavy stuff. But what's interesting about that too is that Rock Bottom was still there for the Warhol.
Where was Rock Bottom at?
It was at the corner of Avenue B. And Jones. So it was like where there's a parking lot now.
Oh shit!
It was the building that was there. Fucking we like my band played with Owen, American football.
No way.
Mike Kinsella with him on the patio at Rock Bottom. And I like the PA system I think was like shitty or something, and he had to use my amp. So I forgot about that till a couple weeks ago. Somebody reminded me about that, and I was like, oh, shit. But more importantly, at that time, the area was completely different, you know?
Yeah.
There was no fucking apartments around there at all.
Oh, yeah.
Like El Camino elsewhere was not there. The Jones and Rio apartments were not there. The apartments that are built in front of the bar now are not there.
The VFW, was that there?
The fucking river was... The VFW was there. The fucking river walk was not what it looks like today. The river... I don't even know if there was water in the river yet. I'm serious.
No way, dude.
I remember a lot of bushes and trees and like a little incline... But I don't remember the fucking water. Yeah,
dude. You know what's crazy is I remember like when Ventura was still open, I would go there and it looked like gentrification. That's what it looked like, dude. Like all these fucking fancy ass apartments being built, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was. I mean, everything is just different now.
Yeah,
you know?
It is.
Everything is just different now.
Yeah, but no, going back to that though.
But yeah, so I mean, that just made me think about it because along with the scenes changing and the bands changing, the city changed with it, the streets changed with it, you know. It's definitely just, you know, and it's I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but I'm saying, you know, if you were there at that time, it was special. It was special to see those sorts of things, and I definitely feel like I have an appreciation, and people that were there have an appreciation for it more than the people that never got to see it. Like
nostalgic.
That, you know?
That's what I was looking for. Like if you were there, it was nostalgic for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just cool. Just a cool way to fucking grow up in, you know? Yeah.
That's fucking cool, man. Dude, so like that happened, Rock Bottom, and then it was the Warhol, and Chris Blakey was the one that got you in the door to do all this stuff? He
introduced me to the Red Reverse Prevail with them guys, and to Jordan, Colin, and Brandon, and that's how I started. I mean, running sound, and then eventually bartending too, you know, and it was just a beer bar, you know, fucking rock and roll.
Yeah.
And
how hard is it to make a Lone Star?
Right. So it was cool. I mean, and that turned into a lot of like learning curves too, as far as like the changes I wanted to bring with Ventura and stuff. Right. Like, but it was a very cool time, and learning to just even though it was just beer, I think and any person in the service industry can probably tell you that, but like it's just about learning how to deal with people. And on one
drunk people.
Yeah, and in one sense, like I got that behind the bar a little bit, but I definitely got it dealing with bands too. All the different bands' attitudes, personalities, whether they're big, small, like whatever. And I mean, that's how I met a lot of people. And also like, and again, even though it was a job, I also felt like it was like just something that I enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
It was, there's only a few times that, I mean, I definitely don't have the appreciation. I didn't have the appreciation for it at the time that I do now, at some point I was like, this is a shitload of fucking punk bands, a shitload of fucking metal bands, like a lot
oversaturated for sure.
A lot of work, just being surrounded by it. So you're after a while, you're kind of like, all right. But I look back now too, and like I mean, I was younger, but sound guys have a very funny kind of thing about them to be dicks to bands all the time, like or just like those like very disgruntled characters behind the sound booth, like who think they know better because they've done this a million times, and like you're on stage just trying to like be cool and anyways
have a good time.
So but I've been that too, like from like I've seen it from all different angles, and I think that's fucking interesting and just a unique perspective to be able to see things from all different sides.
No, definitely, dude, definitely. So okay, so like the Warhol, you had the 3 owners that you work with, and then who bought it and made it 1011? Was it new owners?
No, it was the same people.
It was the same people.
Yeah.
Okay.
The story is like the Warhol Foundation or something like that from New York, like sent them a letter like trying to sue them.
Really?
Because they were called the Warhol.
Wow.
Yeah, so rather than dealing with it, they just fucking changed the name.
I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
To the 1011.
Yeah, to the 1011.
Dude,
the address.
So okay, so like if we fast forward like the 1011, that's like 2010, 2012. 2014.
No. Warhol was just 2008 to 2009, I think.
What? Only for 1 year? Or it was all red and shit, right? Like I've seen pictures.
Yeah. And the 1011, I think, was still red for a while. Red for a long time. But yeah, I mean, it was funny because on one of these social media posts that I had seen recently, they were like, "Y'all don't remember the Warhol though," but I'm like, the Warhol was technically open for like, well, it was the Warhol for just a year. You know what I mean? Like if you know the 1011, you should know the Warhol.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you don't, then you just didn't get it. But I don't know.
No, dude. What's cool about the 1011, dude, that I'll never forget is like, well, when I started playing music, right? Like when I started like playing for other people and stuff, like I was like, okay, how do I get my foot in the door? Who's gonna give me a chance? And I think our mutual friend Sarah like sent you my music.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, hey, do you want to be the feature artist for open mic? And I was like, dude, like Michael Caddy will give me a chance, bro. Like I think, like yeah, I'll always remember that, dude. But like 1011, that's one memory I think of when it comes to that pastime,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know that you were working for the 1011. You were running sound. You were working the bar too, right? Like just
later on
selling the beer.
Yeah, later on. Wow.
And while you're doing all this, like you're still like working your regular job and you're still like doing all kinds of stuff.
No, that was it. Like
that was it.
I mean, I lived there.
Oh shit, dude.
Like working every day, and I think at some point I lived by Tycoon Flats, and I was paying.
I love that place.
Yeah, I was paying my rent by being a sound guy and fucking booking shows and playing shows. And I mean, it was a very humble life, but I appreciated it because that was the time that you still have the time to be with your friends, to jam, and then go play shows, and then, I mean, my job is surrounded by music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a double-edged sword at some point,
sure,
because you're like. The time goes by and you slowly get older.
Like you're losing and you're gaining at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, because I think that's an experience that not many people get to experience.
No, they don't.
No, I mean, it's rare enough. As silly as it sounds in a way, You know, to be in a fucking garage with your
Hmm.
friends, your brothers and sisters, and whoever it is, like making music. Um, it's a special feeling, you
Yeah,
know,
definitely, definitely.
and that's not. And I don't know if like COVID helped or not, but I definitely feel like there's more of an appreciation for what's local now. You know, I can't, because there was a that drainage
Mm-hmm.
of no live music, no local shows,
Yeah,
closing of venues,
right.
and all of that shit. And so just from that sort of life and what we know to be nice about that,
Yeah,
to now we're grown-ups and
yeah,
or what the, you know, what's the definition of how that should look, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
um because that's, I mean, that's how I made my living. That's what I did, you know.
yeah.
And it was, I guess that's why I also show so much love for what I've done, because my bosses weren't assholes, you know.
Yeah.
And other than that, I've always tried to just do my own thing.
Yeah.
And it was not easy, you know,
Mhm.
not easy at all. But it was the only way that I ever saw things should be done, you know.
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's what's up, dude. Oh no, I totally agree with that, man. So while all that was going on, at the same time, is this around the time that you started Dear Vibes and Michael J and the Foxes?
I guess Dear Vibes was 2009 or 10, because our album release was January 1st, 2011. It was 1111.
No, shit.
111.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so by that point we had had the band together for
Yeah.
at least a year, and then had to go into recorded it with my friend Anthony, and
Yeah.
so that was that time. And Michael J didn't start till like 2014, I think, something like that.
Dude, what was it in your mind that was like, I'm gonna put a fucking orchestra together? Like, did you just wake up and like, I'm gonna do this shit? I'm gonna be Beethoven.
I think that I've answered this question kind of in different ways before, but
So then give me a different answer.
yeah, I'm trying to think of a good one. No, I think that I just thought there's a lot of big bands now who use orchestration and stuff
Right.
like that. But this was before that, you know, like there was not a lot of bands that were doing that at that time. I could name a few, but then people would just think that that's why I did it. But it wasn't really about like sounding like anybody else. In fact,
Right.
it was the complete opposite. It was like, how can I do? I'm not like, I just heard the music that way. That's my answer.
In your head.
I just heard the music that way. That was the only way I felt it could be.
Right.
You know,
The more time that went on, the more I started finding out more about you, dude. And like, regardless of if it was good or bad or not, one thing that I really liked about the fact that I heard about you, dude, is that like you have a name. You might not feel the same. I feel a certain way about it, dude. It's like, oh shit, like Mikey Vibe, like Michael Carrillo, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, dude, like, do you think because your name was kind of established already for working at the Warhol and the 1011, that like that kind of helped you bring everybody together to do like Dear Vibes and Michael J and the Foxes? Or do you think it's because everybody had a share a love for music that y'all just like came together to do it?
it was well, we're talking over a span of a couple years, really.
Right.
So when I was running sound at the 1011, like I had a lot of interaction with people and bands and friends, but I don't know if I wasn't Mikey Vibe quite yet.
Was it Morky Vorb?
Moki Vobe. It was so when I started Dear Vibes, I worked my ass off trying to find horn players and
Really?
string players. Yeah.
Okay, tell me about that, man.
Because
Talk
the
to me
sound
about
didn't
that.
really exist yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. I found my friend Ryan, who's still a friend of mine today. We've gone through a lot of things together, and we started recording the Foxes at one point, and I didn't release it, and it just wasn't anything. But I met him, and then we still talk about doing things today.
Yeah.
And he's played with Dear Vibes, he's played with the Foxes now. it's been a long history of a friendship, and I think he told me, and I vaguely remember, but like I saw him having some sort of band like T-shirt on, and I was like, "You play a horn instrument, or you play trombone, or something like that?"
He's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, and I was like, "All right, you're in the band." You know,
Like,
I did that
sure?
a lot. I did that a lot to people. I was like, "You're in the band now. You don't know it yet."
You don't need an audition. You're in the band.
Yeah. So we had a very eclectic group of people, all from different places and
Walks of life.
Yeah, I mean, I found it at a different time, later on or before or however. I found another trombone player through Craigslist. I mean, like,
Oh shit.
you know, like you at that time, I was ready and willing and doing anything I could to find my indie rock orchestra. You know,
You wanted it that bad?
it was yeah.
It sounds like it.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
sounds-
absolutely. And you know, I think some of my band it was a little bit of a hard thing because you start off with like your close friends, and then you're like, guys, I love y'all, and y'all are the best.
Dude, it never works out like that. It never works out, bro.
Y'all are the best, but I also want 10 other people in the
Yeah,
band. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And I mean that brought its challenges, but overall, you know, I'm still friends with everybody that I'm mostly everybody that I've worked with. So
I remember the first time that I saw the music video where like you guys had a swimming pool and like
skip.
was
Next
like-
question, please.
I was like, what in the this is good. No.
I don't have any hard feelings about.
It was good, man. I mean, it was better than what the fuck I was doing. Cause see, here's the thing. I don't mean to interrupt you, Michael, but
Yeah.
there was a point in time, dude, where like I was like, let me familiarize myself with the local acts in San Antonio because that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Let me see who's in the scene. And then I came across that music video, and I was like, okay, this is cool. But what did you think about it though? Like with that. Next question, please.
When we filmed that music video, we were on a label. I don't think that label exists anymore, and I don't think it has
Probably
for
not.
a while. But I don't blame anybody. I know I've always been who I am. But when that video came out, we got a write up about the video and about the song or something about our what we were doing at the time.
Mhm.
And in that article, it said like something about I must have said this to
Oh my God.
the people we were working with,
What
but
did you say?
how like my neighborhood, my suburban life neighborhood didn't allow my block of the street and a couple blocks like to go to the neighborhood pool. And so that whole video was based off of that concept of like throwing your own party. But I did not know
Okay.
that at the time of shooting that music video. So I was kind of like, oh, what the hell's going on? But okay, we're doing it. I mean, people showed up to be in it. So I thought
Yeah.
that was cool, you know, but overall, it's kind of like, I didn't get it until like later. And I was like, man, if I had gotten what the point of this was, I might have like done things a little differently.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but it was cool. Let's move on.
So tell me about your drummer, man.
Okay. We've been through a handful of drummers, all lovingly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But Kay is just an amazing drummer. I
Yeah.
mean, he is. I like to think I made him who he is today.
Oh no shit. That is
no.
without question, bro. Like
No. He's like my little brother, who is somehow more mature than me.
yeah, dude, you had to push him down a couple times, huh? Like
No. We he makes a lot of jokes. He makes a lot of jokes.
Oh, okay. I can't tell when he's being serious.
I
sometimes,
know.
Dude. Like,
I didn't push him down. He says that I pushed his kit over
He's
or
like-
like his symbol or something over. But I swear to God, I fell. I did not push his symbol over.
dude, when
I think
saw
I
that-
just knocked it over by accident somehow. I don't know, but he was joking. I think it was not what it seemed.
Let's just assume it was a joke.
Yeah.
Let's assume it was.
But Kay is the best. Kay is the best drummer, hands down, in this city. He can do anything. And you know, after working with somebody for so long, when I met him, he was in a 2-piece called Tetra with another awesome guy named Johnny, and it was a loud math
Mathcore band.
I can't even remember the damn name of the band. I'm trying to think.
Was it a local band?
No. For reference, but they were awesome. And I think when we worked with him, I was like, okay, now use the mallets and use the hot rods and just play super quiet, like as quiet as you can.
Oh my God, dude!
When you're in a band of 10 people, I mean, it's hard enough to be in like a 3 or 4 piece band and have the drummer not be the.
But when you have a 10-piece band,
and with violins and no amplification and shit, I mean, and that's pretty much what our roles were. It was like our rules is to be quiet enough to hear everybody, and so that's the hardest job for the drummer. And we just worked together so hard and long over those sorts of things. And I mean, he's perfect, and he can read my mind. I'm sure I annoy the hell out of him a lot of the times, maybe more so recently with Michael J and the Foxes shows than anything, but he's great.
I was gonna say, if there's one thing that I remember about you, man, is the fact that like there are posts that I've seen on Facebook and on social media where either it was you or Kay saying like I'm playing too fast or I'm playing too loud. Well, then why don't you just become the drum set instead, and I'll play it. No, I'll play it now. I'm just kidding, dude. But no, dude. I think he's a brilliant drummer. I know he plays to a click. I know that shit is fucking hard to do, man. Especially when you got like a bunch of like instruments and all that. Can y'all get on one, please, for Michael? There's no more? There's no more in the... For real? Damn, my bad, Michael. We ran out.
I told you we should have got more.
Yeah, but anyways.
Yeah, and he's in Honey Bunny. He didn't always play with a click.
He's in Honey Bunny?
I know he can. Yeah, he's in
Honey
Bunny now.
I didn't know that.
Honey Bunny's a great band, and everybody in that band is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I know I think with them, I don't know if he's like played with a click or not, but it's okay. It's okay. But with me, I know he can, and with Dear Vibes we didn't, and a lot of it's about feel, and then sometimes we are doing Fox's recording and stuff with clicks, and
he's in that band too. He's in both of them.
Yeah, he's in both of
the wow
the bands. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I throw him a lot of curveballs, and he's always just graceful and everything.
That's cool, man. No, dude, I'm really I really admire what you do, getting these people together, making these bands happen, all the music that's happening, all the talented artists that are a part in it, dude. Like it's very admirable,
Thank you.
And I think there's one thing I told you before, dude, like the past couple of years that I passed. I said, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. Is there a reason for that? What is like what is the reason for that, bro? Like,
no, I appreciate that. No, I don't know. I think I let a lot of things affect me that I shouldn't, I guess.
I see.
I've been through a lot with the bar. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe here and there with band drama or city band drama, little bands like to pick fights and stuff like that. But none of that really ever, I don't really feel that way about things. But with the bar, tons of stuff. And I think I just put a lot of energy because I'm so protective of my friends, of myself.
I see.
That I am, if I was nice at some point, I've just become a lot more like, don't fuck with me anymore, and that makes me, but that also kind of, in a conversation like this, I can totally be appreciative of the things that we've experienced. And on the other hand, I know that there's a handful of people who just don't want to see the good. They don't want to see what's the energy and the efforts that I've done to help people. And again, I have never seen it as me helping somebody. When I put you on as the featured artist, that wasn't me trying to give a handout. That was because I thought you were good and it was going to be good for the night. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that.
I don't just do things because
for your own amusement.
Right. Yeah. It's always like book the bands I think are good and work with the people that I think are nice and just do that, and so I've done my best. Yeah, no, and
for sure,
so I think it in one way I'm grateful, and in another way I if people don't understand where I'm coming from at this point, I am happy to tell them to fuck off. You know?
No, I get it, man. I get it. You're fed up at this point. Like you've heard it all, you've done it all, you've seen it all. So I sent Miguel a compiled list of all your posts throughout the couple years on Facebook. Can you bring that up for us, please, Miguel? Like let's review all the shit that Michael has said.
How many pages is that? Yeah, totally. No,
I'm just kidding. I don't have a list, man. I'm just fucking with you.
No, I like it. I'm not sorry for anything. You know, you know, I think
I don't regret nothing.
I don't regret nothing.
Shit.
You know what I mean? I think people want to take things the wrong way sometimes. I think people want to just only see the sides that they see, and you know, a Facebook post, no matter how much I might want to put into it, is not the entirety
of your life,
of my life,
or your attitude, or your character.
Yeah, or even necessarily the whole situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, social media is a joke. You know what I mean? I don't get why people
they feel validation through it. I don't know.
Yeah,
why, you know, like,
exactly. People are so disconnected, and that it's supposed to connect people, and it's just disgusting. People disgust me,
dude. I want to go back to what you said earlier about like people don't try to see the good. So this is gonna sound crazy, but like there was a time before Marulevo came in, before like music came in, where like I used to be a fucking piece of shit, man. Like I was a fucking douche. I was like a shitty ass friend. I was a douche, and like I ran into like somebody from that life yesterday at the Homies Fest, and like he's like, "Hey man, you remember?" And I was like, "Fuck, yeah, I remember." And what's sad about that, dude, is like they're always gonna remember me for that time, but they won't know me for who I am now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, I get what you're saying, dude. It's like those people, like that person, they're only gonna maybe they want me to fail. Who knows? Yeah. But they're only gonna remember me for the bad, and they're never gonna like know me for the good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think sometimes people just don't want to accept that there's any more sides to who we are as people, you know? And a lot of the times those people are the first people to be shouting out their righteousness of what they think is right and wrong, and you know, just with this theory that they have everything right and they know everything, and that the people they're speaking out against don't know anything and they're wrong, you know? Yeah. And I think at some point, like, you have to just, if you don't have compassion in your heart for people, when you lose sight that somebody is just a human being, you become so ugly, you know? Like, and I've done that myself recently, where I started realizing, like, some of my anger has just made me
bitter.
Well, yeah, I'm
to an extent.
No, I'm already bitter. I'm already bitter. But you know, I started looking at myself and I'm like, I don't want to be angry about these things anymore. You know, and I know we're gonna get to what I'm referencing.
We'll get to that in the next 3 hours.
But you know, I mean, at some point, everybody's a human being, and
we make mistakes, man.
There has to be a line between like what you want to protect against. Like, is somebody trying to hurt you physically? Is somebody trying to
damage your reputation?
Damage your reputation, damage you emotionally,
your image or something.
Yeah,
just to hurt you, bro. In general, just
in general. And what do you protect yourself? Just the right way of going about things. You know what I mean? I'm bad at that, because if somebody starts talking shit about me, I want to start talking shit back. I'm gonna go to where they are and handle it. You know, but I go to where they are, because I don't care about social media. Like, I'll be on it, but I'll show up.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's the thing. Like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be be ugly or violent. But sometimes you got to stand up for what's right, for what you believe in, and for the people that you care about. Yeah. You know, and it's a fine line between like what you let affect you and how you want to go handle things. You know,
I'm glad you brought this up, man, because I feel like you definitely have a reputation here in this city, at least in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but in my opinion, dude, I feel like you establish yourself here, and everybody's gonna have mixed reviews, right? Like, if you're a fucking movie and shit, they're Rotten Tomatoes. Like, so with that being said, dude, Do you feel like your name is pretty big? Like if someone told you Michael Carrillo, he's the guy, it's him. You don't feel that way, do you?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, this is San Antonio, you know? I know that I've calmed down a lot in my ego over the years. Because
Like you said that.
it's a childish thing, you know? I don't think I've necessarily ever been like super bad, but I did have an ego, I think, you know, but I've always tried to treat people good. I just wanted to be respected for the work that I was doing.
Not for like the mistakes that you made, but the work that you're doing.
Right. And even besides that, I mean, it's hard to come up in this town, and that should not even be the goal, you know. The goal for any artist, musician of any
to blow up
type.
everywhere else but here.
Yeah, or just just expand as much as you can,
right,
without this idea of like this is our circle and we need to be the most popular person in the circle. That's not how it works.
No,
I mean, all we end up doing is like going to each other's shows, and then nobody actually grows.
Yeah.
You know, or not going to each other's shows and nobody actually grows. But yeah, I mean, I never thought that I was a big name, but it kind of goes to one of those things of like, oh, you know a lot of people. I mean, maybe people would say they know me. And if I've had a conversation with you in real life, 95% of the time, it's probably been a good experience, you know, because I'm there trying to treat people good.
Right.
The other 5%, I'll be justified and say maybe there's a reason that it wasn't pleasant, you know.
Yeah.
And the other whatever there is no more percentage, but because it's more of like it doesn't exist.
Right.
If there's people who say something, but we've never had a conversation, or they don't actually know who I am.
They don't take the time to get to know you. Just go off a post.
Yeah, or go off a post, or just like or the, you know, whatever is being said.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, but so I can't say I see myself as something great, because if I say that is the gateway to saying now you can see me as something bad too, because that's what people do.
Yeah.
You know, they build these idols
Right.
in their minds with celebrities, and like you said, on social media, it's all about the likes, the
Like
follows.
validation. Yeah.
Yeah, the validation. And they want these people to be something to them at some point until they don't.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then they take pleasure in watching the downfall.
Yeah. They love it. They love it, dude.
You know?
They eat that shit up like real quick.
So yeah, I mean, it is. It's just, you know, and I don't think there's anything real behind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Um,
all facade, man.
I mean, there's Instagram pages made to talk shit about people, and they get like tons of views, and like we're talking, and I'm not talking locally either. Like I'm not even talking about that.
Right.
I'm talking about like great, you know,
Celebrities.
Just whatever, you know, people
like Joe Biden.
Thrive. People thrive off of like negativity.
No,
you know?
they do. They love it,
because it makes
dude.
them feel better. It's just nuts.
So before we move on to the next thing, dude, for the record, I just want to say, man, like, out of all the things that people have said about you, I know you for you, man, and I'm happy to have the pleasure to be able to know you and call you a friend. You know what I'm saying? I know it took a little bit of time, but friendship isn't something that you're supposed to force. You know what I mean? Friendship is something you're supposed to let happen. And like one thing I want to say, dude, is like throughout the years, I feel like people have been hating on you. Can you tell me why do you think they would hate on you, or what reason do they have to like hate on you without getting to know you? They just want to go off of like what somebody said.
I think that there's just it goes to the same thing. If I barely want to see myself as somebody who's admired or who has done something good for people, but I want to hold myself accountable and be appreciative of all of my experiences.
I see.
The good and the bad. And I think, I mean, you know, I would have to have an ego to answer that question. I would have to say they're jealous. I don't think anybody should be jealous of me. I would have to say, you know, they don't know me and I'm so great. I'm not saying that. maybe they don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know where some people like I you know, I know that everybody is going through things, and I think some of the things that I've experienced, these people who have lashed out are in
Mm-hmm.
pain themselves, and I think that just goes to where they are and what matters to them.
Right.
Um, and so, you know, um, in those sort of circumstances, if I don't know these people, I it's taken a lot because I still hurts.
Yeah. No, of course, dude. It
But
would.
you
Yeah.
know, it's taken a lot to let some of that go, and to also just realize like whoever they are, they need to work on themselves
Yeah.
just as much as I do. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
um,
Or as the next person, or as I,
right,
like, yeah,
right, yeah. So I mean,
for sure, man. I get it. People are alive and they're breathing. Like, I get it. I'm just fucking with you. No, dude. So I wanted to go back to when you were working at the 1011. How did it become Ventura?
okay. So in 2015 or 16,
Uh-huh.
I knew that the guys, my bosses, were kind of wrapping it up. I knew that they were in different positions in their lives, and they kind of just wanted to do something else.
Did they talk to you about it, or you just knew because you were so close with them?
Um, they were, I guess, both.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
we did have a conversation at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I think they always. I think they were a little worried about if I took it over.
Really?
Well, like in an older brother kind of way, like this is fucking hard. I want you to be okay doing it,
Oh.
you know.
Oh. Okay. Wow. All
But
right.
I mean, and that was like just cautionary about it, you know. I mean, very supportive, and
Yeah.
they've always been very supportive,
Yeah.
but I think they knew how tough it can be, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and so they just wanted what's best as far as moving forward with me opening Ventura.
Right.
And so we did, you know, we did all the paperwork stuff, and
So they asked you, they're like, Michael, look, we're ready to leave this.
no, 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 no.
No, so they were worried about
Yeah, I mean, they were just
like you taking over, and then you did.
yeah, I mean, they were just cautious. They wanted what was best for me, and
Mhm.
to understand how difficult it was to manage a place, to
Mhm.
do it all. You know, I mean, there was three of them, and you know, every business faces challenges, and
Yeah, for sure.
you know, so
And change too, like change.
yeah, change for sure. But yeah, you know, so I know that it all worked out. You know, it all worked out, and they've always been very supportive. They've come to the bar, you
Mhm.
know, and
I was like, here you go. Here's the keys.
it's not exactly, but you know, something.
But you
like
did get the
that.
keys though.
I did get the keys. Yeah. So you know,
How did you feel, dude, when you finally got it? Like, yes.
um, the way I felt was that I loved the 1011, but I wanted to bring my own thing into it. You know,
Mhm.
even now I'm like. I think about like the name change and stuff like that, but I mean I worked my ass off. I got a job doing demolition for like a flooring company,
Wow.
to make some money. You know, I was applying for loans. I had a handful of people helping.
Yeah.
But I mean, physical labor wise, we worked endlessly at the bar to make changes.
I remember you asked people to volunteer to help you too, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, like just like
just to paint the walls or something.
yeah,
or-
to paint and to do the cool stuff.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was very cool. I think Wayne Holtz came, and my friend Rob came, and
Mm.
you know, like just like for even being all the
Yeah.
way back then, very very cool that
Yeah.
we got some support like that. But it was work. I mean, I was tearing walls down and tearing the ceiling down and doing a bunch of shit. and I had a good support system, I guess.
Yeah, I remember, man. I remember seeing all the posters like, "Hey, yo, Mikey Vibe needs help. Let's go." And then like a bunch of people hopped into a van and they went to go help you out, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That was dope.
It's it's been a ride for sure.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Nah, I get it, dude. But honestly, man, if there's one thing that I could say about this, Michael, is that you've done something that not a lot of people can do. Like I know it was frustrating. I know it was hard. I know that it made you tear out your fucking, not literally, but tear out your hair. I get it, dude. But I would hope that you would consider the fact that you did something not a lot of people have a chance to do. And not only that, dude, a lot of people respected you for it, bro, because that was your bar. That was Ventura. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people came in. That was my home away from home, dude. And I can speak for a lot of people when I say this, is like they felt the same way.
Yeah.
I didn't even live close to there, dude. I lived on the northeast side and I would drive there.
Yeah.
Instead of going down the street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to be there, bro. You know? And I know that you started like getting good at bartending. Like, all I'm saying is, dude, is like take these things into consideration and be proud of what you've done.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Definitely.
Because when all these negative comments and these negative thoughts start like coming in, dude, you have to recognize that you put in work.
Yeah,
for
sure. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, that's I guess that's where we're going. I mean, now, you know, COVID hit and we had to close, and even
yeah, that's right. Fog, that was sad, dude. See that post? I swear to God.
And you know, even before that, the shooting and stuff like that, and now, you know, it's a different bar, and I know I've talked a lot of interesting things about that situation as well.
So what happened exactly, dude? Because like I remember, like I messaged you and you didn't respond, and I know that everybody was hitting you up that day, right, when the shooting happened.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, what happened, dude?
Well, you know, we always have like a mixed night of or mixed events, like, you know, hip hop, indie rock, punk.
Well, I feel like
all
the
that
hip hop
stuff,
thing was kind of new though, right? Because you were always doing like rock stuff, and then all of a sudden here comes a hip hop thing.
No, not really. We had a lot of good hip hop shows, a lot of good R&B, a lot of good rap. You know, we had been mixing it up for a while, and actually that week we had like just a week of hip hop shows.
Right.
Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even.
Okay, I didn't know that. Right.
Yeah, and different promoters though, and that sort of thing, you know, and I mean Sunday, it was January 19th, fucking 7:32 or something like that.
2019, you know? Right?
2020.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, it was a lot of people don't even know that I was there. You know, like I mean,
I didn't know you were there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, my phone blew up, but a lot of people didn't even know I was there. And I think even still, just recently, somebody was like, "Were you there?" It's like,
yeah.
You know, but we had a bunch of hip hop shows. That hip hop show in particular was an early. I mean, started early. It was a daytime show. You know, we were on the Riverwalk, so of course,
yeah, it was chill.
Yeah, and well, we're on the Riverwalk, and of course, because we're on the Riverwalk, as long as people were with their parents or something like that, we would do those like all ages shows or 18 and up shows and stuff like that.
Or like open to the Riverwalk, people can just walk in right to the bar and like
and that was partially because of that. If there's families and stuff like that and they want to check it out or whatever, I mean, we're checking IDs of course. And stuff like that, you know? Absolutely. I mean, we had never up until we had never period had any issues with minors drinking or anything like that. That didn't happen that night either.
Right.
You know, but I mean, as far as I was concerned, I was least worried about this Sunday night than the previous nights. The previous nights were just older.
They were cool.
It was an older crowd.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but yeah, everything was chill. I didn't think and I guess, you know, I didn't have any reason to expect anything to happen, you know?
Right.
But yeah, so I was talking to my bartender, Leah, behind the bar, and all of a sudden, you know, pop, pop, pop. And we kind of like, it took like 0.9 seconds to like look back and hear what was happening. And I just said, get down. We both got down behind the bar. I mean, it was like a stampede of people running out of the door.
Oh shit.
Um,
Like both the back and the front door, or just like everybody like by instinct they just want to go out the front door?
the front door, you know, this guy, like that kid, fucking 19-year-old fucking idiot, you know.
Christ, dude.
It was like
Motherfucker, man.
everybody just starts running up. I think there was people performing on stage still.
Oh,
So they jumped off stage, or maybe it was in between the transition, but or it was either between a transition or these kids were on stage. But what I remember is that like the music was still playing, and so we ducked down. Everybody was running out.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the pops to stop because it was like
It still kept going even after you went down. Like
yeah.
Okay.
You know, Leah's there, afraid for her life.
Of course.
I'm kind of like, what do I have to do now? You know,
what is racing through your mind as that's going on, dude? Because I know you're on the ground with her.
yeah.
The shots are still going off. People are trying to run through the door. Like what's going through your mind?
You know, I wish I could say like I didn't believe it was happening, but
No.
but there was none of that. It was just, this is happening.
Yeah.
And
What can I do to like?
yeah, because I know it was by the back door because that's where everybody's running from.
Oh, okay.
I could see the door swinging, the front door from where we're at, swinging open and closed. You know, I guess the door guy had grabbed. It was outside promoters, but
Right.
they grabbed the money box and stuff like that. I didn't see him grab the money box and run out, but
Right.
you know that's what I was told happened.
Oh
And
my god, dude.
I mean, I'm hearing crying. I'm hearing while we're like in a matter of moments. You know, about 7 shots, and that's how many people got hit.
Fuck, dude.
But there was like 3 to 4 people in the bar who were shot.
Jesus Christ.
You know, and in a matter of moments, everybody was gone. It was just the kid that got killed, and he was with. I don't know if his mom was there yet, but an older lady, a guy on the floor, another kid. I mean, there was 2. I think the kid left. The older lady got taken out. So I ran to the back door and closed it because
like to lock it to not let them in, right?
Yeah. Because I knew that because the shots had came from the back door area.
Yeah.
That you know, I'm just gonna close that back door. I mean, that was pretty much it. Like that walk from getting up from behind the bar, because I kind of was just over Leah a little bit, like waiting for it to stop. Once it stopped, I got up, and that walk is like the walk of my life, man.
My God,
towards
dude.
Turning down the music because I couldn't, like, it was blasting. Turning it down, hearing somebody calling 911. Walking to the back door, closing the back door, seeing the kid on the floor, you know, seeing an older lady on the floor, seeing this guy on the floor.
Oh, my goodness.
Go up to the front, and I think I start calling 911 at that point, and or Leah started calling 911, and I started closing the front door so we could get some security.
Yeah.
Because at that point I knew like the shooter wasn't in the building.
Okay.
And as I did, some people asked to come inside, and it was like they were looking for their family members.
Man.
So I let them in, and I figured, you know, I mean, at this point it was a secured space to where I am going to let them back in because I don't want them out there in case something happens outside.
Or if he comes back or something. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, so in a matter of moments, you know, I could hear the ambulances outside. I took off my belt. My one of my bartenders who was off that night, but he had came by and he came in and he like took my belt and this kid had got shot on the leg and he was like on the couch and it was just intense. It was intense as fuck.
Dude,
I mean, I was up all night. I had the security camera footage and you know, you could see you couldn't see the guy. You couldn't see the guy from where the camera was, but you could see everybody running and you could see the kid on the floor.
Oh my god, dude.
You know, so that kid died instantly, and then another guy was on his back, and I remember fucking telling him, you know, like it's gonna be okay, you know. And I think he died on the way to the hospital or in the hospital.
Fuck, dude. And what started this whole thing, man? Was he just trying to shoot at one person and he just decides to fucking shoot all these people? Jesus Christ.
I mean, I guess so, because I assume that first shot was that kid, you know?
Yeah.
But the extra shots were, I don't know if it was him running out and just firing away as he left or what. You know, just fucking terrible. And like fucking kids, you know what I mean? And kids with guns, you know? And people make this huge thing about like, well, why weren't you patting down? I was like, we've had so many shows. We've never had to pat down
incidents.
people.
Yeah, there's no need for that. Yeah. No metal detectors.
Not even fucking fights, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like not even fucking
Ventura's
fights.
Always been a place to chill, dude. That's why I felt safe there. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. So I mean, that was like just not only just a rough situation. You know, I was at the fucking police station all night, and you know, I know it was hard for everybody. Yeah. Obviously, you know, I mean, like, I feel bad. I'm not the fucking victim here. The people that got hurt were the fucking victim, you know? Yeah. But I did my best to just be with Leah, to do what I could in that moment, you know? And even in my fucking car ride, dude, like, I'm looking at the comments on my phone under, like, the emergency fucking news report that had gone out, and people commenting, like, what's going on, you know? And, like, just, you know, within the next day, just talking shit.
Oh my god!
I'm like, give me a fucking break, like, you know. But my phone did blow up, of course, like hundreds of messages, asking if I was okay, asking what was going on, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know I hit you up too.
At some point, I stopped opening them, like from text to Facebook messages, shit like that.
For like a week, you said, right? Like you didn't.
For like maybe 2, and I tried to get back to some of them later on. And even now, like sometimes I'll like get a message from somebody or something will come out and I'll go to message them and I'll see it January 19th, 2020. You okay?
Fuck.
And I mean, even now, you know what I mean? And it's just like things that I never expected to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but
well, if I remember correctly, dude, I think that guy's doing time now. I mean, at least I hope he is, dude, because like goddamn, dude, he hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know the families had like a vigil, or at least one of them had like a vigil a couple days after that.
Mm-hmm.
We opened the bar for this event.
Yeah.
As far as like our space, you know, we weren't
right.
like serving. Although I did take a few shots with some of the family.
Of course,
members.
out of respect. Out of respect, yeah.
Yeah. But you know, and then later on it just turns into fucking more shit talking, more getting legal situations, and then not 2 months later, COVID.
Yeah.
And
oh damn, that's right.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, I mean, we weren't in a position to just close down for a month or however, you know. Right. I mean, I don't think there is an appropriate amount of time to close down after that.
No,
sort of
not
thing.
for any business. I mean?
No. And you know, and even the cops fucking were like, you know, that this happens at other places, and they're just open the next day, you know. And I mean, we closed down for a week or whatever it was, you know. But I knew even then it was like, I mean, if we're closed, we're closed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that was also not a path I wanted to go down, especially when I mean, I truly felt like there was nothing we could have done to prevent what happened.
Yeah.
You know? Not the door person, not the promoters, not me, you know, just completely I mean, as far as I knew, it was completely random. I don't know. I heard like these two kids had like some Instagram beef or some
beef
shit
or
like
something,
that.
some rapper beef or some shit.
Yeah, yeah, because you know so much when you're fucking 19 years old.
Well, I mean, now he's gonna think about it for the rest of like however long in prison.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But I mean, you know, so it is. It was tough, and then when COVID came, the bar closed, and you know, I've been wrapped up in a lot of that still, or up until just like you know a year ago. Still,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, still dealing with that.
A lot of people didn't know that either, right? Like that you were still kind of, because I thought you had sold the place, dude. Like when COVID happened, I thought you had sold the building. Like, okay, you know, that's not mine no more.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't own the building. You know, we were just.
Oh, sorry, like renting
yeah,
it. Like,
yeah. But I did hold on to the lease, and you know, I started trying to work with somebody else eventually to get the place back open, and that went sour, and that's what
happened. I mean, you don't have to like.
Yeah.
Just say what you want to say. You don't have to say everything.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm sure there's people out there that want to know, like, you know, because there's a lot of people that support you, dude.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. I know that you think about the fucking people that have negative shit to say, but I need to remind you, man, that there are people that love you and support you, dude, and they believe in you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, you know, after the bars started opening back up, and as long as they had a certain amount of food and all of that COVID bullshit, man, all of that.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, like that.
You can only sell alcohol if you sell food.
Yeah,
I forgot.
And a certain amount.
Thing,
it was just fucking ridiculous, man. Like, I mean, like you get fucked, and then they try to like say, oh, you can do this, but it's like we didn't have a kitchen. I mean, there were ways to try to work around shit, but I mean, I was defeated. I was defeated because of what had happened.
Yeah.
I was defeated because now I was forced to close. I mean, I was in a bad place for a long time, you know. On the end of those months of binging and the fucking freeze that happened. And,
oh, shit, that's right. You know, like a snowstorm and shit.
Yeah, all of that.
Making snowmen.
Like into the next year, you know, into 2021 is, I think, right? So in all of that, at some point I had started talking to somebody, and he was interested in helping me get the bar back open.
To be a partner.
Yeah, as a partner. And I mean, long story short, man, like, you know, we were supposed to be 50-50. And as things kind of didn't work out, like I said, man, I've always been the type to just do what feels naturally and be my own boss.
Right.
And even with a partner, that was fine until like money started being like, he had this fucking idea that he was my boss. So it's both. I got screwed over, but also I didn't want to be in that position where I'm being disrespected for all the work I'm doing, you know?
Right. I mean, it was your idea, like, to start it open again. It was your idea for the logo and the name, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of things that I mean, were pretty much, you know, my
your initiative,
initiative to bring forward. And on top of that too, like, you know, one of my friends works for this guy, and like he's been my friend since that band through her vibe, and I don't fuck with that guy anymore, and I'm never going to again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just sent out something to him just recently. I don't know if he got it or not, but I mean, I'm not gonna have hate in my heart for these people anymore, but I'm not gonna like be nice. I'm not gonna like forgive them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to forgive them, but I'm not going to let it drive me the way it had been for a minute, you know?
Well, you don't have to say it if you don't want to, so I'll say it for you. What I will say, everybody watching, is that, yes, it is a fair argument to say that one person maybe might have done something different than the other person, but it is also a fair argument to say that you put a lot of work into that place. And when you look for a partner, it was supposed to be an equal partnership. Somewhere along the lines, that individual forgot the meaning of equal partnership. I'm just saying my opinion. I'm not saying like, you know.
Yeah.
But I want to fucking say it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, we have to be selective about what we say right here.
Right.
So I'm putting it lightly. when I say this.
Yeah.
But they forgot what equal partnership is, and you lost your bar. That's just my opinion. That's just me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud right now.
And I will say, like, with all of the things that I had been through, I had told him, like, you want to run the spot, run the spot. Just give me my cut, and I'll walk away, and I have no reason to be angry. I have no reason for nothing.
And he said,
and he didn't. I mean, there was paperwork that we had between us that was not signed. I mean, just the disrespect was overwhelming. I was not gonna wait and say, let me suck your dick just a little bit more so you'll sign this paper.
No.
Let me give you some more information on how to run things so you can go ahead and change your mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I don't suck dick for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For
a quarter at least. Like,
yeah, I got to get something. But
all jokes aside, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's a certain amount of issues in this stuff about it has a lot to be said in this town about loyalty and integrity and what it means to work for what you got and to believe in people and yourself. And it goes with music too. If you don't, I mean, I think that's where a lot of that ego that I had when I was younger came from, because you got to tell people in this town what's hip, and they don't believe it until everybody already believes it, and then they'll jump on.
Until they start doing it, right? Like, oh, now it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it says a lot to the people who I've expressed these situations to. Are they still going to perform there?
Right.
Are they not going to perform there? Right. Yeah, I mean, everybody has, do you want to be one of those types of people that has a cost, that if you're paid, you'll do whatever, right?
Right.
Because I'm not one of those people. And I don't think that's...
Oh, like everyone has a price.
Everyone has a price. Yeah, everyone has a price. And, I don't. I mean, I respect this is fucking hard proof that no matter what the amount of money, what amount of percentage it would have been, I don't care about that.
No.
I care about the respect. And I care that,
or some common ground at least,
Yeah, I mean, what's right and wrong is right and wrong, and this is not one of the situations where, I want to be peaceful.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I'm working on it, and I
appreciate that too.
I get that people can be snakes, and that if that's who they choose to be, then that's who they choose to be, and that's all there is to it,
So before we close out, dude, I just want to say this, man. Are you sure this is all you want to say about it? Because you don't have to say anything you don't want to. However, there are some people that would like to know. Is there going to be a bar owned under Mikey Vibe? More keyboard.
Time will tell. I think if the right opportunity and the right things happen again, we know. I've learned from a lot of the things that I've been through, and I'm confident in the idea that should the cards fall that way, I would do it very well. And I do have some plans for certain things, but we're just gonna see. I think right now I'm working on myself. I'm working on supporting the people.
I like it. Yeah, I noticed you've been absent off social media for a while. So
yeah.
I appreciate that too.
Yeah, it eliminates the ideas of competition, and it brings me closer to the people that I actually see in real life.
Yeah, for sure.
So because again, social media is not real life. Yeah, so I appreciate you asking me to be on the show, and
of course, dude, of course.
I think
it's a long time coming.
We got some good stuff. I love my friends, and I love the people that have supported me throughout these years. And
absolutely,
I think you're right. I got to keep that in mind, and I'm definitely
don't ever forget that.
Yeah, I'm definitely focusing less on the people who have given me negative shit.
It's easy to forget shit like that, man, because you get it a lot. You get so much of it where it's like, whatever. It
pays the cost to be the boss.
It's not easy being cheesy, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So we're not gonna say the name of what the bar is now. I mean, for those of you that do know Mikey Vibe, and those of you who are from San Antonio, Texas, you do know where the bar is and what it was, and you're free to think however you want about the whole situation. It's probably best that we don't get into it a lot more than we have already. But in my personal opinion, I think that bar should belong to Mikey Vibe. And dude, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I know it's been a long time coming. So tell the people where they can find your music if you would like them to follow you, your stuff.
I don't have social media. No, I do have at Michael J and the Foxes and at Dear
Michael J and
Vibes
the Foxes, guys.
for the Instagram stuff.
And Pornhub, Brazers, Bang Bros,
Damn it,
Casting Couch.
oh my god.
I know he didn't want to tell people this, but I have to drop this link, guys. So
Yeah, I'm starting my OnlyFans this year. No, but damn it, what was I gonna say?
He's gonna
You
have a
threw
cock
everything
mold.
off. You threw everything
He's
off.
gonna have a cock mold, guys. So if you want to buy that,
Now
it's
we have to edit the entire end of this.
No, this is staying in, dude. Staying in.
What are we talking about? Damn it.
I said if anybody has anything to say like about the bar, like they can think of it for themselves.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna say what we have to say.
Oh yeah. And one last thing. I mean, I think maybe it's all meant to be. You know what I mean? Because like you said, the
What did I say?
that it's my bar, and I do, or it should be, and I do believe that, but in improving myself and trying to do things differently with not necessarily like my life, but but in the goals and the ambitions and the things I'm diving into. It's about love, it's about doubling down on appreciating these the now,
live in the now, man.
Yeah, and I think with everything that's happened, maybe it is it's all for something. I think I think I have to think that.
Okay, if you were gonna say that, then what I will say is that something better will come along. Then, if we're gonna go with that,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but alrighty, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for coming in. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Arturo.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.